What up, everybody? It's your boy Talking back with another video. You know what, guys? Anyways, back to the book reviews. Again, I'm doing this book, Goosebumps book review. Piano lessons can be murder. By the way, as someone who took the piano, I can agree with this. It can't be murder. I've taken three different instruments in my life. I've taken piano, guitar, and what was the other one? It's the one where it's a whistle, but it's not like a clarinet. There it is, clarinet. Yeah, clarinet. That was it. Basically, I'm just gonna get into the review right now. So I liked episode and book. They're both good. Both endings to the episode and the book. The episode's ending is not as scary as the first episode, as the actual book's ending. When Jerry finds a dusty old piano in the attic of his, I'm reading the backside. So Jerry finds a dusty old piano in the back of his new house, in the basement of his new house, and his parents decided they're gonna offer to pay for his lessons. You know, pay for lessons that he has, and to learn the piano. And not only that, one day he finds out that there's a ghost living in the basement of his house. And the ghost is like skeletal. It has the skeleton's face, and then it's very freaking creepy and things. So they sign up for so he ends up going to this school called Dr. Shriek's Dr. Shriek's piano school, or sorry, Dr. Shriek's music school. That's what it's called. And Dr. Shriek, by the way, the guy who plays Dr. Shriek in the episode, if you watch the episode very closely, he's also the guy who plays Dr. Vink in Are You Afraid of the Dark? Which I actually liked that series as well. Back to the book review. Okay. So he's in the episode. A woman tells him not to go to the school at all. Like, do not go there. But he doesn't listen, and at first, Dr. Vink is like, yo, he thinks Dr. Vink is weird, but otherwise okay. He's like very obsessed with Jerry's hands for some reason, and it freaks him out. And then one day, he meets the janitor of the school named Mr. Toggle, and some shit, and he's like weird. He's okay. He's an okay dude. And Dr. Toggle said, Mr. Toggle said, oh yeah, I heard that that from Dr. Shriek that you have very cool hands and all that type of shit. And later on, he's like, okay, yeah, cool, I guess. And he keeps going to the lessons, but he doesn't like the lessons. He's like, his hands start to hurt. He hates the lessons and he hates the thing. And then somewhere in between, he starts hearing stories about previous students of Dr. Shriek. And as in the book says, I'll read the backside. Then Jerry hears stories, terrifying stories, about students at Dr. Shriek's music school. Students who went in for a lesson and never came out. Basically, and in the darkness, in one of his, I think it was not his dreams, but he hears the ghost tells him, "Stay away from my piano. I'm warning you, stay away." This is the ghost is also saying this in the house. Stay away from my piano. Stay away from this. Stay away from that. It's warning him. And then in the episode, at one point he starts to want to leave during the lesson, and Dr. Shriek is not letting him leave, and he tries to forcibly grab his hands and stop him leaving. He able to get away, run down the stairs to the basement, and get away just in time, and then finds Dr. Shriek comes in and about to hurt him, and Mr. Toggle in the episode turns him off, and turns out it's Mr. Toggle created Dr. Shriek, and he's a robot. Also, in the episode, it's an old woman who's the ghost, who has no hands for some reason. And also the ghost has hands. Sorry, in the episode, a woman. In the book, the ghost has bloody stumps, meaning their hands have been cut off for some reason. So then Mr. Toggle basically explains, oh, like, I'll read you the thing about Mr. Toggle. I need your hands. What? He pointed out the piano against the wall. A gray-suited instructor stood lifeless beside it, a smile frozen on his face. There were no hands suspended over the keyboard. That will be your piano, Jerry, Mr. Toggle said. So the story goes, in the book, Mr. Toggle cuts off hands of his students, kills them, and basically makes the hands play the piano for eternity. I started backing toward the double doors, one step at a time. Why, I stammered. Why do you need my hands? And then in the episode, I forgot what the old woman called him, but the old woman goes, but said that he always, play, like, you always didn't play your lessons. You didn't do your lessons and you didn't practice. And he's like, it was so hard and it was so boring and all that. And I think the ending for the episode was scary and comedic at the same time. The way it ended was, it goes back to the basement scene of the building, and he's playing there, and he's playing the piano, and he's like, how long do I have to play? I hate this. And it's like, you'll play for eternity, until you'll play for eternity, basically, the piano, which I would say would be a punishment in itself. By the way, to this day, I only know how to do 3 songs on the piano. I can do the Halloween theme song to the movie Halloween. I can do the Goosebumps theme song, and I don't know the other song I can do. I don't know that one yet. I forgot that one. But I can still do the Halloween and the Goosebumps theme song. Human hands are started back toward the double doors, one step at a time. Why, I stammered. Why do you need my hands? Human hands are too hard to build, too complicated, too many parts, Mr. Toggle replied, and he scratched his black stubby beard with one hand as he moved toward me. But I started taking another step, and I can't make the hands play beautifully, Mr. Toggle explained, his eyes lighting me. I've designed computer programs to make them play more beautiful than any live human can play, but I can't build hands. The students must supply the hands. But why? I demanded. Why are you doing this? To make beautiful music, naturally, Mr. Toggle replied, taking another step closer to taking another step closer. I love beautiful music, Jerry, and the music is much more beautiful, so much more perfect when human mistakes don't get in the way. He took another step toward me, then another. You don't understand, don't you? His dark eyes burned into mine. No, I screamed. No, I don't understand. You can't have my hands. You can't. I took another step back. My legs were still trembling. If I can just get through those doors, I thought, maybe I can have a chance. Maybe I have a chance. Maybe I can outrun. Maybe I can get out of this crazy building. It was my only hope. Gathering my strength, ignoring the pounding of my heart, I turned and darted toward the doors. Oh, I cried as the ghost woman appeared in front of me. Woman from my house, from my piano. She rose up all in gray except for her eyes. Her eyes were red as fire. Her mouth was twisted in an ugly snarl of rage. She flowed toward me, blocking my path to the door. I'm trapped, I realized. I'm trapped between Mr. Toggle and the ghost. There's no escape now. I warned you, the ghost woman wailed, her red eyes glowing with fury. I warned you. Now, no, please, I managed to cry in a choked voice. I raised my hands in front of me, trying to shield myself from her. Please let me go. To my surprise, she flowed right past me. She was glaring at Mr. Toggle, I realized. He staggered back, his face tightened with a terror. The ghost woman raised her arms. Awaken, she wailed. Awaken! And as she waved her arms, I saw a fluttering at pianos. The fluttering became mist. A wisp of gray and cloud rose up from each piano. I backed up to the doors, my eyes wide with disbelief. At each piano, the dark mist took shape. They were ghosts, I realized. Ghosts of boys, girls, men, and women. I watched in frozen horror as they rose up. and claimed their hands. They moved their fingers, testing their hands, and then, with arms outstretched, their hands fluttering in front of them, the ghosts floated away from their pianos, moving in rows in single file toward Mr. Toggle. "No, get away! Get away!" Mr. Toggle shrieked. He turned and tried to flee through the doors, but I blocked his path, and the ghosts swarmed over him. Their hands pulled down their hands pressed to him to the floor. He kicked and struggled and screamed, let me go! Let me up! Get off me! Get off me!" With the hands, dozens and dozens of hands flattened over him, held him down, pushed him face down on the floor. The gray ghost woman turned to me. "I tried to warn you," she called over Mr. Tyler's frantic screams. "I tried to scare you away. I lived in your house. I was a victim of this school. I tried to frighten you from becoming a victim too. I run." "Run," she ordered to hurry. "Call for help." But I was frozen in place, too shocked by what I was seeing to move. As I stared in disbelief, the ghostly hand swarmed over Mr. Toggle and lifted him off the floor. He squirmed and struggled, but he couldn't free himself from their powerful grasp. They carried him to the door, and then out. I followed to the doorway to watch. Mr. Toggle appeared to be floating inside into the deep woods beside the school. The hands carried him away. He disappeared into the tangled trees. I knew he'd never be seen again. I spun around to thank the ghost woman for trying to warn me, but she was gone. Basically, what happened was Mr. Toggle was basically taken by all the ghosts all the people and spirits that he's ever killed and wronged, to basically eternal damnation in that forest. They're probably gonna kill him. Basically, is what happened. The way it ends is, I'm going to read the ending really quick for you guys. He had never been seen again. I spun around to thank the ghost woman, but trying to warn her, but she was gone. 2. I was all alone now. The hall stretched behind me in the eerie silence, ghostly silence. Piano music had ended forever. A few weeks later, my life had pretty much returned to normal. Dad put an ad in the newspaper and sold the piano right away to a family across the town. I left a space in the family room, so Mom and Dad got a big screen TV. I never saw the ghost woman again. Maybe she moved out with the piano. I don't know. I made some good friends and was starting to get used to my new school. I was thinking seriously of trying out for the baseball team. I'm not a great hitter, but I'm good in the field. Everyone says I have great hands. That's why I like the end. That's why I like both of them. The book's ending to what happened to Mr. Toggle in the end is a lot worse than what happened. Well, both of them are equally worse, because the episode ending, he's doomed to play piano for eternity, and the book's ending, he's basically doomed for all damnation, to be tortured by the people that he's wronged, spirits. So both of them are pretty equally bad. Anyways, guys, this is for this video. Next video will be, like I said, a theory video on the book I've been reading, which is Hocus Pocus, and the all-new sequel, I'm actually just got finished Hocus Pocus, the original movie, but based on the book version of the movie last night, which had some few new details we didn't get to read in the actual movie. So, I'm going to tell you about that and my theory on that video, and then I will be talking. See you guys later. Bye, guys. Like, comment, subscribe if you haven't done so already. See you later.